Vital Signs for System Center from Savision allows IT organizations to really bring real-time performance to the System Center suite of families. Vital Signs is a product of Savision. Savision is deployed in over 350 customers globally with some of the largest and most complex IT departments. In order to learn more about Vital Signs for System Center, contact us at sales@savision.com. Savision's Vital Signs addresses several IT challenges, the first really being the increasing costs associated with the complexity of virtualization and mixed environments. What we're seeing in the virtualization from our customers is that it's really difficult to discern exactly the relationship between the virtualized host and the underlying hardware. The second is really the pole interval visibility provided by Operations Manager. Operations Manager does a great job on providing the state changes and everything else that's flowing out of your IT environment. However, oftentimes it's good to have a real-time view into exactly what's going on. The final challenge that we're seeing across our customer base is really new IT services need to be supported with the same number of people. Vital Signs works to help all three of these categories, and we'll talk more about that throughout this demo. Vital Signs is a solution to these challenges for three main reasons. The first one being that Vital Signs is always proactive. The second one is that you can not only see the current or real-time state of your environment, but you can also move forward and backwards on a time horizon to see exactly what problem caused its current performance and what was the performance before and after the particular incident. Finally, all of the Vital Signs dashboards are based on the expertise from MVPs and experts in the various fields in which Vital Signs is operating. So with Vital Signs, what you'll see in every dashboard provided, whether it's in Windows Server or the latest virtualization from VMware or Hyper-V, is a number of real-time dashboards that allow you to learn exactly what normal performance is for the environment and then make sure that you can see exactly what happened in the environment. Vital Signs brings real-time dashboarding to a number of platforms. The underlying data for historical purposes is provided from the System Center family. So Vital Signs is putting a dashboard view on real-time data as well as bringing in the data that's already in your Operations Manager, Configuration Manager, and Service Manager environment into a centralized view. Each dashboard is actually attached to a particular application being managed. So if it's Windows Server or SQL Server or Exchange or Virtual Machine Manager or Hypervisor, you can see a dashboard that is specific to each one of those. Each dashboard brings over 20 different expert-chosen performance counters for real-time and historical data tracking for your environment. With that, let's dive into a demonstration of the product. So the Vital Signs product is completely role-based. As you'll see on the left side, you can add a role for any type of user for your environment, whether it's a read-only operator or administrator. The underlying component of Vital Signs requires users to actually be able to use various authentication credentials in order to pull data back from the server. So you can either use Windows authentication or other authentication to actually collect the underlying SQL server. Once a connector is established with an individual server, you can add other connections based on data sources. So whether that's Operations Manager, Configuration Manager, or Service Manager, or Data Protection Manager, you can pull in all that data. And we'll see why that data is important on actually building on the analysis of an environment. So let's drill down into a SQL Server environment. In this dashboard, you can see a number of real-time performance counters, as well as the spark lines on exactly what is normal performance, as well as how the environment's changing. You can adjust your dashboard. You can pull up the underlying system components to see exactly what's going on in the environment, from memory management to thresholding. And within Vital Signs, you can actually look in established normal performance based on the historical performance that's pulled out of Operations Manager. So for this, you can calibrate it based on what period of analysis you want it based on normal performance, or you can have the learning algorithm understand normal performance over time. Or on the console itself, you can automatically or manually adjust those components exactly for what you're doing. Also within the user interface, you can go back and forward in time to see exactly what's going on. So from the time slider, you can adjust the time horizon for the various graphs that you're looking at. Let's dig into some of the events that are going on. So these are the events pulled directly from various sources that you've put into Vital Signs. So from this, you can look at different views, whether it's a month view or a timeline view, to exactly see what happened when and understand exactly what the health of that environment was. So this is very helpful for correlating visually all of the events that have occurred in the environment and might actually be causing a problem now. If you have change management data coming in from Configuration Manager, you can also see exactly what the configuration changes were and what the effect on the performance has been as a result of that. Let's dig into some of the database data specifically. You can look at performance, you can look at data files, you can also drill into the underlying properties of the database and see exactly what's going on with this particular database or database instance on the SQL Server. Oftentimes, databases slow down as a result of expensive queries. So in this case, you can see exactly what the last connection was, and you can see exactly what the query was run. So if you have an application that is running really expensive queries against your database, you can see that as well. You can also look at all the jobs that are scheduled for that particular environment, and also the properties of everything that's going on within that SQL Server, as well as the agents or other components on that server. Vital Signs brings real-time analysis and reporting as well as troubleshooting to a number of popular environments in the Microsoft ecosystem. What we found in our beta test customers is that this allows customers to really pinpoint the difficult and periodic performance problems that happen within your IT environment. This complementary tool actually adds a lot of value to existing Operations Manager instances in that it'll pull back all the real-time data all the time, so you don't have to worry about collecting or missing data points that are pruned or otherwise removed from Operations Manager. What this has shown is that IT teams can actually dig down into these periodic performance problems that are the hardest and most difficult to solve in real time, thereby improving their service levels that they're providing to their businesses instantly. Finally, as a result of the virtualization trend and the ability for Vital Signs to really understand exactly where a service or application is running, not only on the virtual host, but down to the hardware level, and all of the data that's required on both the virtual host level as well as the underlying host, teams are able to do more with their existing resources in a more diverse IT environment. Finally, what we've seen is that Vital Signs really adds a lot of value in helping you align your IDLEMOF and Core I/O standards with Vital Signs. So as organizations advance through the various components, you can really get to a dynamic environment by combining Savision's Vital Signs product with live maps in order to not only establish an end-to-end perspective at a macro level, but drill in deep to understand exactly how your dynamic environment is performing in empowering your service desk, making sure that they can do automated checks, and also ensure that they're providing the best support possible. For more information about Vital Signs, contact Savision today. We encourage you to test out Vital Signs and our other products by visiting savision.com/free. For quotes and other information, please contact sales@savision.com.